Baby, you a masterpiece. God took his time on you. Always on my mind, but I'd rather have my mind on you. Beauty is defined on you. Perfectly designed on you. If you see your flaws, let this play and roll on.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl, ShortSide. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Thank you for clicking. This video is a Q&A video. I did post on my Instagram and asked y'all to ask me anything y'all wanted to ask about lifestyle, beauty, entrepreneurship, literally just anything, and y'all really delivered. I got a whole bunch of questions to answer. I like to do Q&A videos every now and again because people really do ask questions, like on my Instagram stories and like sometimes in the comments, and sometimes I just want to give everyone the opportunity to just ask anything they want, to pick my brain, and so I'm happy to do these videos. We are going to get right on into it. We're gonna start off easy going, and the question is, what is my favorite makeup product right now? Something that I reach for a lot in my makeup is my Clinique foundation. I'll also say the Juvia's Place bronzer. I used both of those a lot. Honorable mention, Fenty's concealer. I'm not the biggest fan of Fenty's foundation, but that concealer, she does what needs to be done every time. The next question is, which Amazon item was your most useful? Rate the usability and sturdiness of the item. I would really have to say, as it pertains to my office, my most useful Amazon product that I've ordered as of recently will probably be my monitor. I knew I needed to get a monitor for a really long time, and now that I finally have one, it is just so good to finally see stuff up on a bigger screen, especially when I'm editing projects or working on like a really big project that I want to see close up. I would definitely say my monitor is definitely that girl for that, and I don't know what I was doing so long without a monitor. This question says, are you doing a New Year's bingo card? I have seen the bingo cards floating around and like people doing them. I think that they are really cool, and I think that they look really cute. I'm not doing a bingo card this year just because I really didn't do enough research or took enough interest in it. No shade to any of the girls that are doing it. I think it is really cool, but I personally am not doing one, no. Okay, two people kind of asked this same question, like what are my 2023 goals? Also, like what are my top priorities this year? And I would say my top priority for 2023 is probably my health. I consider myself to be a very healthy person, but I do feel like I have some bad habits that I want to kind of break in 2023. I also want to get into taking a lot more vitamins and supplements. I think that it will make a really big difference, like in like my energy levels and like anxiety and stress and you know, stuff like that. I would say that my biggest priority is most definitely my health. I already like go to the doctor pretty regularly. I would love to take an allergy test this year to find out what I'm allergic to. Plus, I really just feel like health is wealth, and you know, how am I going to get out here and do all of the amazing things that I want to do in the world if I'm unhealthy or if my body is not the best that it could be? This question says, where are you hoping to travel? I do have some really fun travel plans coming up soon. By the time this video is up, I would already have done like my first trip to Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm going to the cabins literally next weekend. I'm very excited. I will also be traveling to Europe in March, and I'm very excited about that as well. I am trying to plan like some sort of solo travel this year. I don't know exactly where yet, and I don't know exactly when, but I would love to do a solo trip this year. And I know for a fact that it'll probably be somewhere domestic, just because my parents was like, you can't go out the country by yourself, blah, which, I mean, I get it. So I guess I can respect their wishes as well. And then we also are kind of thinking about taking some sort of family trip to somewhere in the Caribbean at the end of the year, which we're kind of talking about it, and hopefully it actually makes it off the ground. But yeah, I guess those are some pretty big travel plans for 2023. I mean, I really wanted 2023 to be a really big travel year for me, just because I'm tired of just being in Atlanta. I'm trying to get out of Atlanta. I'm trying to see and do some things. Y'all know I'm pretty well traveled. And I just want to get even more travel. I want my passport to get stamped up. That's kind of how I'm feeling. That's my 2023 aura right now. So those were all kind of like general questions. I'm kind of trying to break them up because I got a lot of entrepreneurship questions, mental health questions and stuff like that. That's some really meaty stuff. So I'm trying to like, you know, get through all of like the fun, lighthearted questions first. The next question is, are you dating anyone? No, I'm not. I'm not dating anyone. I'm not actively seeing anyone. Actually, I am dating someone. I'm dating myself. But that's such a lame answer. But to answer your question, as far as someone else that's not myself, I'm not seeing anyone, I'm not dating anyone. It's like intentional, but it's also unintentional. If you watch like my vlog, maybe like 2 vlogs back, I talked about like my dating life and how it was going, and you know, how I just want to treat myself the way that I want a man to treat me when he comes into my life. I'm very serious about that, and I'm very picky about that. I haven't had the opportunity to go out on any dates. I mean, in 2023, like, we only like 7 days in. I can't even say that I'm 100% like, I don't know. We're really just gonna see where God takes me. We're gonna see where the wind blow me. I'm not totally opposed to dating, but I'm also, I just feel like I'm in a space where I'm just so particular that I get the ick fast, y'all. The next question is, how are you maintaining your new hair? Again, a couple videos back, I just dyed my hair this burgundy kind of red color. I've been wanting to do this color for a really long time, and basically ways that I've been maintaining it is my hairstylist gave me a whole new like regimen, shampoo, conditioner, and she gave me a color depositing mask that I'm supposed to put on my hair every other week. Other than that, I've been being a lot more gentle with my hair, and I've also been moisturizing my hair a lot more. It's only been maybe like 3 weeks, but yeah, I've been moisturizing my hair a lot more. I haven't really changed anything as far as like, you know, products that I use for like a braid out or a flexi rod set or whatever, but just as far as like the general shampoo condition, that definitely has changed. I haven't stopped steaming. I feel like now more than anything, it's time to continue to steam and steam more. I'm really happy to announce that my hair is still, you know, holding its curl. There is no damage. She did cut 2 inches off of my hair, which was kind of devastating for me, but that also just has encouraged me to go and get trims every 3 months like I'm supposed to. So I will be doing that more to hopefully help with the hair growth. And I also oil and grease my scalp just every couple of nights just to kind of promote that hair growth too. Speaking of hair growth, this question says, what tips or advice do you have for hair growth and retention? And I kind of just said it, but like, sis, for real, go get your hair trimmed. And I'm not talking about like trim your hair yourself, because I thought that I was cute and I thought that I could just trim my own hair and oh, it was fine. Baby, no, because my hairstylist was like, I see the effort you made. In other words, don't do that again. That's really what it was given when she said that to me. So I would definitely make sure you're getting your trims regularly, every 3 months, professionally. Get your hair trimmed to make sure it's healthy. I would say make sure that you are giving your hair its proper moisture. Nothing can grow without water. So if you're not putting water in your hair is probably dry. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I will also say to be very gentle, a lot of low manipulation styles. I wear my hair in a lot of twists and braids just because, one, I don't feel like doing my hair. So once I put my hair in some braids, my hair's gonna stay like that for at least 4 days. And I braid my hair back up every night, and I don't take the braids out unless I feel like I have somewhere to go to wear my to take my hair out. Like, that's just what it is. So a lot of low manipulation styles, and then also protective styling does help, but just make sure you're giving your hair like 2 to 3 weeks to breathe in between your protective styles, just to kind of combat any damage or breakage or anything like that. Yeah, and just be very gentle with your hair. The ends of your hair are the oldest part. They're the most prone to breakage. So if you are trying to detangle your hair on dry hair, or if you're just like parting your hair and you're like ripping and stuff, like, that's breaking your hair. So just be very gentle, be very careful, and make sure you have a solid regimen. This question says, how was your transition? How has your transition from college to adulthood been? I'm not gonna lie. Even between myself and all of my friends, I don't really feel like there's such thing as the easy transition from college to adulthood. I feel like in some way, shape, or form, there's gonna be a struggle, whether it's like a culture shock to adulthood, whether you're facing financial troubles, whether you're having some mental health issues, whether, you know, that getting kind of ripped out of college and into adulthood, that is a completely different life. So like think of you're in college and, you know, you're around your friends every day. Everything that you need is completely accessible to you. You know, you're sleeping in your dorm and everyone is just close, everything's happy. And then you're in adulthood and your friend might live 500 miles away and you don't really have money for groceries for real. And you having a hard time working out because you're not an athlete anymore. Like, I feel like my transition has been moderate. I just feel like everyone has their own difficulties. I mean, I did definitely have my own struggles with like my career and figuring out like if I really belonged in corporate America or if I belonged in a 9-to-5 or if I actually was gonna seek entrepreneurship or if I was gonna go back to school and then student loan debt. Like, it was really just a lot. So I would say that my transition it was fine. I feel like it was a normal transition. I feel like it was a normal transition, the type of transition that most people would experience. But, you know, I definitely had some struggles. In 2023, I will officially be 4 years out of college, and I'll be 100% with y'all. I'm just now feeling like I'm to the point where I have my life together or I have it figured out, and I am 4 years removed. A freshman has gone through all of college before I feel like I finally have figured it out. So if you're watching this video and you are fresh out of college, a year, 2 years out, give yourself just a little bit of grace, because it takes a minute to really figure it out. Even if you do have it figured out a little bit, it really takes a while for you to be like, I'm really doing this. So that's my advice to you. What would be your advice to someone that struggles with self-care and not feeling guilty? I would say forget them folks. And that's really not even what I want to say for real, but forget them folks. You should be the most important person in your life. And yes, it comes across as selfish. It does. But how can you pour into any cup if your cup is empty? I feel like that does no service to you as a person. So my advice would be to prioritize self-care just a little bit more. Even if you start off really small, like, hey, I'm gonna take myself on a walk and I just want to go by myself and be with myself. Or hey, I'm gonna take myself out to eat and I'm just gonna go by myself and I just want to be with myself and just be in my space. I think it does take a minute for you to not feel guilty about your self-care and about yourself, but just think about yourself as a cup and think about your energy levels and where you are, and do you really feel like you can be whatever for someone else if you aren't even that person for yourself? Really make the conscious effort to prioritize self-care. And if you do have people in your life that are almost against your self-care, or, you know, make you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself, those people just might not belong in your life, or you might need to take a step back, or you might need to just set boundaries, because boundaries is also a big part of self-care too. I also got 2 questions that were kind of similar in this retrospect. The first question was, what keeps you going? And then the other question was, how do you keep yourself inspired and motivated to keep going? So first and foremost, I truly do what God tells me to do. I follow God. I chase after God, really, I do. I would say that's one of the biggest factors in me keeping going. I would say another factor is, I feel like if I gave up or if I stopped, I would be so mad at myself. I would be so disappointed in myself. And I almost don't think that I could like live with myself if I have kind of gotten as far as I did and then gave up at like a side of adversity. And I'm not saying that to say that it's been completely easy and that I haven't wanted to give up, because that is not the case at all. But just knowing the reward for consistency and continuation is genuinely and truly what I want to see one day. Like I look forward to waking up one day and feeling like I made it. And even when I feel like I've made it, I feel like you gotta keep going. It never stops, you know? I feel that actually creating generational wealth for the people to come after me also inspires me, and like really doing it. So starting businesses and making sure I have things to leave for my children and my children's children and so on and so forth. I want for you know, my child to show my grandchildren or show my great-grandchildren and be like, hey, that was your grandma, Bridget Halls, and she was this, and this, and she did this, and this. And like them, they be so inspired, because I feel like my parents tell me stories about like my ancestors now, and I am so inspired, and I am so like, wow, they did that, they're fine, and I want to be like them, and I know that their blood runs in me, and I want that for myself. These are also some similar questions. What is the hardest thing about content creating? The hardest thing about content creating is being everything, being doing the strategy behind it, and being the brains behind all of the concepts and all the ideas, actually taking the time to create the content, to edit the content, to put the content out, to market the content. That is pretty difficult. I would say the most difficult thing about being a content creator is not feeling the support that you want. Like, I feel like there are a lot of people who watch my content and they do support me, but I do think that, you know, leaving a comment or clicking the subscribe button. I would say that one of the hardest things about being a content creator is not feeling the support that you would like to feel. And when I say support, I mean, like, I know that people support me and I know that people want to see me win. I think things as simple as, you know, leaving a comment under my post, actually hitting the subscribe button, sharing my content can go so far, and I just don't really feel like I receive support in that retrospect, because I actually really enjoy making content. I would consider it to be a hobby. Yes, I do get paid from it from time to time, but this is a genuine hobby for me that I would like to become more than a hobby. But if it doesn't, I'm fine. But I do feel like lack of support is very discouraging. So I would definitely say that that's one of the hardest things. The next question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to quit their job and do content full time? Honestly, I wouldn't quit your job to do content full time. I wouldn't quit your job to do content full time until you are seeing full-time money from content creation. That's my personal opinion. I know it doesn't happen like that for everyone. I know some people, they go viral overnight and they're able to do that, but I would say keep your job and find a way to make content fit into what you're doing now. And then once your content is able to make you money for real, then you quit your job and then you take on that content full time. Because to be honest, this content creation is another job for me. Even though, yes, I just said it was a hobby, it is a whole nother job. So you want to make sure that your whole other job, if you are making content all day, you're making your videos, you're taking your pictures, you're editing, you're doing all your things, that it actually can sustain you. And that may be coming from a negative outlook, but that is just my personal advice. I will wait until that content creation money is coming in and it's flowing and it's doing what it needs to do, and then I will quit. Speaking of that, we're gonna segue. This actually segues us into our next slew of questions about entrepreneurship. How do you balance your 9 to 5 in entrepreneurship? To be honest, y'all, some days I don't know how I do it. I would say that I am very organized. Obviously, my 9 to 5 has to come first because it's a salary position. They're paying me to do a job, and best believe my job gets done there. I will say that I am very blessed in a way that I work hybrid, so I really only go to the office once a week. So that gives me 4 days out of the week where I'm at home, and I'm able to do both jobs simultaneously. I'm able to tend to my clients, tend to my content, and tend to my 9 to 5, all within like a 9 to 7-ish type work day. I work until 7 p.m. a lot, so I may be working on some client stuff, or I may be editing a video up until 7. I do kind of have a strict cutoff at 7 just for my own self-care, my own mental health. I don't want to burn myself out. But yeah, my 9 to 5 does come first. The one day that I do go into the office, that's typically all I do in that day, unless I just have anything else to do. I don't usually schedule anything else for that day because I'm usually in the office until about 3 or 4. But I'm just very blessed to work for a company that is just very flexible. It has a very entrepreneurial spirit, and I love the hybrid format of it. And I'm just really blessed to work for the company that I work for, because they've really made it really easy for me to do everything at once. And not even to say that they know that I'm doing everything at once. I'm not saying that. But they have just made it easy. So yeah, if you have a 9 to 5 and you are balancing entrepreneurship and your 9 to 5, put that 9 to 5 first. I'm so serious. That is your source of money. You can use that money to source your dreams as an entrepreneur, but don't get to slacking at that job, because the type of entrepreneur you'll be, because the type of employee you are is the exact type of entrepreneur you will be. So if you're slacking on your job, not taking your job seriously, you know, getting mad at management, doing all that extra, that's the exact type of entrepreneur. That is the exact type of entrepreneur that you are going to be. So just keep that in mind when you clock into your 9 to 5, that you are training yourself to be the type of entrepreneur that you want to be today in your 9 to 5. In your opinion, what's the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur? You just never know what you're going to get with entrepreneurship, to be totally honest with you. Some days you're up, some days you're down, and the inconsistency of the unknown is really, really scary. If you are someone who is an entrepreneur full-time, especially in like a startup, you're in the startup years of your business, that inconsistency is scary. I feel like I've shared this before, but you know, having to get a 9 to 5 was very devastating for me, because I felt like I was giving up on my dreams. I felt like I was a failure and all of those things. But I had to realize that no, it's normal for me to work a job while I actually get what I want to do together. I would say those are some of the biggest challenges. You definitely have to get up and choose to be an entrepreneur and choose to be a boss every single day, or it's just not gonna work. God willing, when it's your turn or when it's your time to shine, you will shine and you will be everything that you want it to be. You could feel really discouraged. You can feel really just down and out, especially when you're not in like the best season of your entrepreneurial career. But like I promise you, you just have to keep going. And if it's God's will, if it's something that He has for you, eventually you will start to see the fruits of your labor. This question says, do you feel like you are in a good space in life? And yes, I do. Because this time last year, no, I did not. 2020, no, I did not. 2021, no, I did not. But going into 2023, y'all, I truly feel like I'm in a totally different mental space. I feel like I have so much more faith in myself and in who God is and what God said He gonna do. I feel like I know myself a lot more as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a creative. Even in my personal life, like I kind of just feel really, really good. Like, yes, things could be better. Things can always be better. Just the time I've been able to spend with family and my friends and traveling and in myself, I really feel like I'm in a really, really good space. And I really have to give God the glory for that. Segueing into that, 2 people asked how my mental health was. And first of all, I just want to say thank y'all so much for asking about my mental health. I would say my mental health is very good. I feel like my mental health is very contingent on if I'm working out consistently, if I'm reading my Bible, if I'm taking time to just sit in silence, if I'm not allowing myself to get burnt out, if I'm eating well. And I'm doing all of those things. I'm also in therapy. I feel like I talk about therapy a lot, but I do go to therapy twice a month. And it has been so good for me. I think it's becoming transformative now because it's allowing me the opportunity to unpack things about myself, unpack things that may not be like the best qualities that I have about myself, and to just figure out why I do some of the things that I do, and then also changing that behavior. So even my therapist will tell you that like she feels like I'm in a good mental health space, and that like I've done a lot of the shadow work, and that, you know, I'm really self-aware. I've become very self-aware in the last year, and I just think now I am just working to improve myself and make myself better. And there are struggles that come with that. There are feelings of like guilt or shame that comes behind like things that I might have done in my past or anything like that. But mentally, I do feel like I'm in a very good space, and if I'm not, I definitely take the necessary steps to get back in a good mental health space. I don't rush that. I don't try to toxic positivity myself into a good space, because if I'm going through it, I'm going through it. That's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm very happy to say that I'm in a good space and my mental health is in a good space as well. So you guys, those were all of the questions that you asked. You guys asked some very good questions, and Thank you guys for participating on Instagram. Again, if y'all are not on Instagram, on my Instagram stories is really where it's at. I really, am very active on Instagram stories, so I really would like for you to give me a follow there. Also, y'all, please subscribe. Please subscribe, please like, please leave a comment. I really appreciate y'all for sitting down and chit-chatting with me. If there's anything that you want to chat about, leave it in the comments. I'm more than welcome to have a conversation with you guys. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.